world moves fast. Your workday, even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
LinkedIn is pretty great at a lot of things, like helping you tap into the latest trends and insights in your field. We cannot stop your coworker from tapping her pencil. LinkedIn can help you find new jobs that align with your career goals. We cannot help you find the source of that weird smell in the office fridge. Ew. And while we can't stop your coworkers from bringing their hobbies into the office, LinkedIn can help you bring your career to the next level. LinkedIn is the network that works for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Golfweek Amateur Tour proudly presents Golfweek Amateur Tour, the podcast, talking about all things Golfweek Amateur Tour, including interviews with tour directors, players, and course professionals. Now here are your hosts, Tim Newman and El Paso Las Cruces Tour Director, Chris Rocha.
Well, welcome back, Chris. And I think this is one time I am going to talk about the conversation before we actually went live, and we were talking about your glasses and and what we could see based on the reflection. So just kind of funny. Yeah, we could see pretty much everything. There we go. That's better. So how you been, bud?
Good, man. How about yourself?
Doing awesome. It's February, okay?
Yeah.
It's February. By the time this comes out, we will have had our first senior regional, and I will have interviewed those winners. So it'll come out the next episode. But we are rolling along. You had your first event a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Heard it was nice weather.
It was weather, that's for sure. But we can talk about that later, because I think it's pretty cool that you can still get golfers to come out and play. And you just got to change your game a little bit.
Yeah. Well,
an outdoor sport for a reason.
Golfers are a different breed, man.
Yeah.
They will play in anything. I actually had a conversation with somebody the other day, and I can't remember where I was, but we were talking about it, and I know exactly where I was. I was at a networking event, and the guy's from Maryland, where I grew up, but he lived most of his life in Northern Virginia, and he said that when he was up there, he would play if the course was open, he was going to play, right? Yeah. And he retired and moved down here. I think he's been down here for maybe 9 months, and he's adopted my philosophy. If it's bad weather. Now I'm staying inside. If it's cold, I'm staying inside. I can play enough golf down here. So it doesn't take long, to once you move to this climate anyway, to not have to play in the cold and in the rain. But you get up north, you get someplace. Golfers are crazy, man.
It's limited. You have a limited time of the year to do it. So if you enjoy it as much, you're going to get out there as much as you can.
Exactly. And not complain that it's hot, right?
Right.
All right. Okay. Just. So we'll do that. We kind of had an anomaly for the season last week, where there was only one Golf Week tournament on Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Throughout the country.
So there was one on Saturday, and I think one on Sunday, and it actually kind of turned out great because at least weather here on the East Coast last week was bad.
Right.
I mean, a cold, snow. Some people still digging out of the snow from the week before. But we did have one tournament, and that's going to be with our first guest. And before we bring him on, here's here's how you know that the season is truly started. Okay. There was one tournament on Saturday. In that tournament, there were 3 playoffs.
Gotta love it.
I think one, I got to pull up my notes here before we bring him in. One flight, the difference was 1 stroke. The other flight, the difference was 2 strokes.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I guess the flights that win the playoff?
Yeah, go ahead.
Champ B and C.
It was Champ A and D.
Oh.
Champ A and D. Yeah. But we're going to talk about it. So let's just go ahead and bring in the D flight winner, because this is really interesting, but we'll let him talk about it. But the D flight winner from, it's a new tour now. I think it's North Florida. Let's just bring him in.
Something like that.
Jason Hares. If I can figure this out again. Jason, you with us, bud?
Yes, sir. I'm with you.
Welcome to the show. And it's a new tour, right? It's a newly named tour. It's North Florida?
Yeah, it's a newly named tour. It was originally the Jacksonville tour. The 2 guys from Central Florida or North Central Florida took over the Jacksonville area.
Yeah, we had Steve and Brandon on, a few weeks ago. Actually, I love having those guys on. They're a lot of fun to talk to. They're a lot of fun in person, and they do a really good job. And Chris and I are going to hell for a number of reasons, and I think we're going to put that on there because we didn't know the name of the tour. Chris, we're better than that, aren't we?
You're the one who introduced
Maybe
it. I agreed.
Maybe not. Well, Jason, again, welcome to the show, and let's talk about the tournament last weekend. Did you know that you all were the only tour that had a tournament on Saturday last week?
Brandon filled us in at the end of match play. At the end of it, that we were the only tournament playing that weekend.
Yeah, and you guys, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, but I think you were playing in like 25 or 30 degree winds.
So at the beginning of the tournament, it was 46 degrees with an 8-mile-an-hour wind. At 3:30, 4 o'clock, it was down to about 30 degrees with a 35-mile-an-hour wind.
Was it shotgun or tee times?
It was shotgun.
Wow.
We didn't start the playoff holes until closer to 4 o'clock. Where it was pretty consistent at 40 miles an hour, and it was below 30, so it was about 28, 29 degrees.
Wow.
So Steve had actually called to get a ruling on something, and I told Jen. Jen asked me what the ruling was, and I said, no, they got still got to play triple bogey, and tell them to quit complaining, right? Is kind of what I said, joking. And then when she hung up, she said, it's like 20 degrees and the wind's blowing. They just want to quit. I said, well, they got to figure it out. Tell one of them to make a putt, is what I said to her. So Jason, I'm sorry, but that was my response.
Oh, thank you, because that just extended the holes that much more. The pain and suffering continues.
Exactly. So tell us about the round, because we were talking a little bit about it, before we went live, and we'll talk about the other flights here in a second. But 5 playoff holes. So walk us through the round and some of the interesting things that happened to you throughout the day.
So a few things. It was pretty benign. I was shooting for at least a bogey the first half of the tournament. I was in position after 12 with a few strokes lead. At 15, I was up 6 strokes, and that's when I lost my phone. So I was unable to check the scoreboard for live scoring after that. Thereafter, I went triple bogey, double bogey, and triple bogey. So I knew that the lead was either non-existent or I was down. My playing partner, I asked going into 18 where I was at and what I needed to make. And he said, well, you're down by one. It was a par four. And I had to beat the other playing partner that we had. We were a group of three, and the guy subsequently that I was in the playoff was also paired in our group.
Man,
He ended up with a bogey. I ended up with a par. And then the last guy was still 2 holes back, and we were waiting for him to figure out the playoff situation and or if we were even going to be in a playoff.
so at that point, did you go inside and warm up, or did you just stay outside to?
Well,
You went in.
I knew I had a little time to figure it out, so I went back and retraced my steps in the golf cart to try to figure out what happened to the phone that I lost midway through the round.
Oh, you legit lost it, not like it died on you or anything. Like it was.
No, yeah, it was gone. I put it on the seat. I think I turned or hit a bump, and it went to the wayside.
Got you.
So we figured this out. I was still unable with the phone. Steve and Brandon notified me that we were going into a playoff hole or playoff situation. So at that point, the wind started picking up. It was about 30-mile-an-hour winds, and we were right on the cusp of about 32-degree weather.
So again, I'm not laughing, but how you get to the playoff holes, and again, just so everybody understands, out of the 5 flights, there were 3 flights that were tied and had to go into playoffs. What was that like trying to hit the ball in that wind and then have to do it for 5 holes?
Well, I can tell you, going into one hole with a headwind, I was 120 yards out, which would have been a pitching wedge for me. I ended up with a 7-iron, which is about a 160 to 165 club, and I was still probably 10, 15 yards short of the green.
Oh my goodness gracious! So what were the tying scores on the first 4 holes?
Bogey, 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 a triple bogey for both of us, and then I ended up finishing it with a 15-foot for a bogey, and he missed a 6-foot bogey, and then ended up coming back with a 3-foot uphill that he missed completely after putting the pressure on him.
I don't want to talk bad about anybody, but maybe he was just done. Maybe he's just cold. Josh, it's okay, buddy. There's no harm in that.
That was the comment going into the last hole. I looked at him and I said, whoever wins this, I may quit after this hole because I was done.
Well, Jason, how long have you been a member of the tour?
I've been a member for about 4 years now.
Was this your first playoff?
This is the second playoff that I've had on tour.
What happened in the first one?
The first one was in North Central Florida, and it was at Juliet Falls for their 2-day major. I ended up beating Brian Lee, I believe, after 3 playoff holes.
Wow. And when was that? Was that last year?
That was last year, at the end of last year.
Awesome. So what is it that you like about the tour?
Just the camaraderie. I joined originally just to meet new people, and just the fellowship, and then the competitive end of it once I kind of fully immersed into the sport. I didn't have a lot of time. I've usually just played weekend recreationally golf, and over the course of the last 4 years, I was able to pick up, take lessons, and to meet new people, being new to Jacksonville at the time.
Yeah, that's awesome. You moved from Texas, right?
Yes, sir.
Where about in Texas?
East Texas, little small town, Longview, Tyler area.
Okay. Chris, is that part of Texas for you, or?
That's nowhere near my Texas.
It would have been east of Dallas, but not quite North Louisiana portion.
So is that Chris? Is that like a 2-day trip for you?
Day, about half a day maybe.
Half a day?
10-hour drive.
Wow.
Yeah. That's awesome. So
It's not awesome.
well, Jason, as I look at the scores across that whole tournament, like I said, there were three flights that had playoffs, and I've got to say that the weather had to have been bad because the champ flight playoff was they shot 80, and the A flight tied at 77. Now the B flight was separated by one stroke. Mike Mitchell shot 85, 1 stroke winner over Sean Ingram, and then the C flight was a 2-stroke difference, where Joe Busher won by 2 over Noel Dawkins. So my guess is obviously the wind and the weather did have some effect across the entire field.
Yes, sir. I would think so, based on the playing conditions at the time.
So when's your next tournament?
Next tournament is going to be Northampton this weekend.
Hopefully there'll be a little bit better weather.
Yeah, I think that they're still calling for mid 40s, no wind in the morning time at tee off at 8:30.
Is it shotgun or?
It's a shotgun. Yes, sir.
Yeah, those guys do a great job of getting those shotguns in Florida. So looking at your schedule, what would you say is your favorite course? And if somebody's coming to the area, what's the not missed or the don't miss tournament?
I would believe that the Palencia is a private course. It's coming up in a couple of weeks, and that's for sure. Do not miss it. Always in pristine condition.
Okay. And when is that? I'm looking here. That's February 16th. Valencia. That's actually right around the corner. Man. Well, Jason, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on the playoff win. Hopefully your hands have thawed out and you're ready to go here this coming weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. It was
no
a pleasure speaking with you.
Do me a favor, tell Steve and Brandon we said hi, and tell them to stop abusing you guys and making you play out there in that cold weather.
Yes, sir, I will. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Yes, sir.
Let's take a break from the show to hear about Srixon's ZX Mark II drivers.
ZX Mark II drivers are for major players, major winners, major power. All new ZX Mark II drivers, only from Srixon.
Tim, like it's always cool to see, flights get into playoffs. I know you probably miss the days where you have to wait for them to go in and kind of steady the crowd because everybody wants to leave, and you're like, let's give everybody their dues. But to go 5 holes at one point, you just want to have them start driving their carts back so you can get your show on the road. But you're excited for them. I know at the most I've done is a 4 or 5 hole playoff, and it's draining because you just played 18 holes and now you want us to play 4 or 5 more. It's tough, but once you finish that playoff and you're victorious, all that weight and all that pressure is taken off and you can finally breathe. So Jason, congrats to him. Sounds like he's used to playoffs now. So if they want to beat him, they got to beat him straight out.
Exactly. Yeah, it's when you being in a playoff is one thing, right?
Right.
Being in a 2-day playoff is one thing. Being in a playoff for a regional is one thing, and even there's been playoffs and national championship, and so you're elevating these things. But one of the things that is great is that playoff went on for 5 holes in that weather,
Right.
and they're still battling it out, right? Battle. Again, to both of them, it's really a testament of the two of them, right? I mean, to continue, but both Jason Harrison and Josh Gray to put up with that, keep battling, trying to get that win. And a lot of times people think that the competition really only comes from the champ flight. It's not at all. Every single one of these flights, every week, we've got competitive golfers trying to win. Period.
I mean, that's where my guess was Champ BC, because in my group, I see a lot of B, C flight playoffs. Every once in a while, you get a Champ in the A flight playoff, but you see a lot of B and C in my group, and then the D flighters that'll come in with a playoff, and good for them, because they don't give up. They see the scoreboard, and they may be down 1 or 2 strokes with 2 holes to go, and they're gonna battle to try to at least get into a playoff or hope something bad happens with the leader. But it's just cool to see, man. I'm glad we're able to do playoffs and not just go straight to the scorecard at that point.
Yeah, and that's go back to the people that you talk about as well. That to say, well, I'm not good enough for this or the other thing. No, it's you. Number one, you are good enough. We got a spot for everybody, and it's not just again. I mean, it's if you got that competitive spirit, that competitive fire. The only way to get better at golf is to bring that competitive spirit and fire and play in a tournament.
Yes, sir.
That's it, man. And again, I love seeing the playoffs. So we've had my tour. We've had a 7-hole playoff, and I think last year across the country, I think we had a couple 7-hole playoffs and a 9-hole playoff last year. So
Wow.
9 holes. Think about it. So, I mean, you're still battling.
Yeah.
But anyway, congratulations to all the winners from North Florida last week. Again, we got to start remembering it's not North Central, it's just North Florida.
Just north.
Steve and Brandon gonna be mad at us, but come on, guys. They changed the name, didn't consult with us. They just did it.
They just didn't tell us at all.
Didn't tell us nothing. We're just supposed to figure it out. But anyway, we've got another new tour director, I'm really excited about it. I'm sorry that Ed had to step away, but I'm really excited about Milwaukee getting a new tour director.
Yep.
I think this new guy is going to be great, primarily because he's a veteran. I mean, so the more veterans we have as tour directors, I think the more squared away our tours are going to be. So let's just go ahead and bring in our new Milwaukee tour director, Keith Cowan from Milwaukee.
Come on.
Here we go. There you go. I got Keith. I've been doing this for 3 years. I'm just still figuring out the buttons, and there's only 2. So first off, welcome to the team. I'm so happy you're with us. And I half jokingly and half serious. We've got a lot of veterans that are tour directors, and if you look across the country of the veteran tour directors, they're squared away. Those tours are squared away. So you got a high bar.
Continue the trend.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. So what was your MOS and how long were you in the military?
So I started off as an enlisted man in the military as an 05 Charlie radio teletype operator. I did that for about 10 years, and then I got commissioned to a 19 series, which is a armor officer.
Oh, wow.
So I spent most of my career as a armor officer, and I had an armor platoon where I had 4 tanks that I was responsible for. I took over as an XO and company commander and everything. So yeah, it was a good career.
That's amazing. And where was your favorite duty station?
So I'll have to say Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
There you go.
Yes,
That's where I
served at Fort Bragg for several years, home of the airborne. Airborne all the way. So that was probably it was my first active duty permanent party station. So it was a great place to be in the 80s.
So that's where you were in the 80s? I was there from 80s, 86 to 89. When my brother was stationed there a number of years later, went back, obviously they had done a lot of renovations and stuff. I didn't even recognize it. And I haven't been there in years, but I would say that was my favorite duty station too. That's the only place I ever was.
Yeah. I was there in the 80s, and then I turned around and when I was in the reserves, I got into a special program that allowed me to go back to Fort Bragg, and I was a reservist, but I was doing my drills at Fort Bragg and jumping. So I was a paratrooper back in 2016, so like 10 years ago.
Wow.
So I got to be there a couple years later on too. So I got to see both the 80s and the 2000s.
Man, that's incredible. So you obviously went through jump school in Columbus, and
yes.
So I've got a friend who actually lives in Columbus now, and I went and spent some time with him. This was probably 7 or 8 years ago, and we got on base and went over to where the jump school is, and again, don't even recognize it. I mean, all the things that they've done to it, but those towers are still there.
Yeah, the towers are still there. Yeah, so I did a stint as a company commander on Sand Hill down at Fort Benning. So
okay,
I spent 18 months down there. So I'm familiar with Benning also. That was a great place to be too.
So here we go. I didn't expect it to turn into this, but when I went to basic training, they had just built Sand Hill, and
wow,
that's not where I was. We were
at Harmony Church, right?
We were at Harmony Church, and they were old barracks then, and so for what people don't understand is when you go there, and I was 18 years old. They fly you in, they fly you into Atlanta, and they put you on a nice bus. They drive you. It's about 2 hours from Atlanta to Columbus, and you get off the bus and they're yelling and screaming at you, which is okay. You get that. But what they don't tell you is you could be there sitting next to somebody on that bus and they're going to separate you. And the guy I was sitting next to went to Sand Hill. I went to Harmony Church, and we met back up for jump school. And I was like, you that's really where you had to go? Yeah, this is where I was. over here was horrible. but yeah. So I guess I deserved it. It was a big punishment for something I did or was going to do anyway. So anyway, let's get back to talking about golf, because that's why we're here. Keith,
yes.
Again, thank you so much. And I'm glad you decided to join us. Tell us about your golf journey.
My golf journey. So I started playing golf at an early age. When I was maybe 5 or 6, my father was older and he was an avid golfer. When I unfortunately had an accident where one of my friends, we were in the backyard. I was hitting balls, the little waffle balls or whatever they call wiffle balls. And he stepped too close to me and I hit him in my swing. So, my dad took away the clubs and I stopped playing golf at about 8. And I didn't pick it up again until I was in my 30s. My wife and I moved across the street from a par 3 course. And, I went and got me a little Sunday bag with a couple clubs, and I would go out every night after work, and I'd hit and hit and hit. And I just got good at it. And so, I joined a work league, and I played kind of weekly. And I did that for a few years. And, I've just been an avid golfer at that point. And I was looking for an opportunity to play competitive golf. And that's where I found the Golfweek Tour. And, it was a great opportunity to play with people at my skill level that I could be competitive with. So it was exciting to me to join the tour. I played, and this is going to be my third year. So I played for the first couple years. I started off in the D flight, moved up to the C flight, but then last year I didn't do very well, so I moved back down to the D flight. But I'm having fun and enjoying myself, and when the opportunity came to take over the tour, or for the director's position here in Milwaukee, I took it because I enjoy what I enjoy playing with the guys. They're a great group of guys that are on the Milwaukee tour, and so I wanted to make sure this continued. So that's why I kind of picked up the director position.
Well, I'm glad you did, and I got a little history of for a while. Jen and I were tour directors up there, so we know a lot of those guys up there, and they're great. Love their time up there, but we weren't up there at this time of the year. So, how did you end up there? I mean, with all the places. Milwaukee. How'd you end up in Milwaukee?
I was born and raised in Milwaukee, so this is the weather that I'm used to. The cold and just dealing with winter, and we get the 4 seasons, the true 4 seasons. It's not like being in Texas or someplace where you are it's hot and then it's less hot, but it's not, you don't get cold very often. So.
That's a very good way of putting it, hot or less hot, because that's 90% of our weather.
Yeah, so I mean, it's I came back to Milwaukee after serving, and I enjoy it here. Our season is shorter, of course, so I do travel a bit. I was down in El Paso. I think it was last winter. Came down to El Paso and played in February. So not with the tour, but just. I actually went down to the military base down there, Fort Bliss, and I played on post. But so I do travel to get out of the cold occasionally, just so that I can play golf, because I'm hooked like many other tour members. So I try to find opportunities to play whenever I can.
Well, again, I'm glad you're the tour director, and I know you've been working on the schedule. So. Tell us what you got in terms of the schedule this year, and if there are any secrets that aren't posted yet that you want to share that we won't tell anybody about.
Yes. So I was fortunate that Ed was able to put together a decent schedule for us this year. So a lot of what I have posted right now was already planned. So I'm very happy and thankful of Ed that he was able to put some tournaments in place. What we don't have posted right now is one of the big tournaments that we have, and that's coming up in August. It is at TPC Wisconsin. So that is where they do the AmFam, the American Family and championship tournament in June. So we will be playing that same course this year.
That's a pretty good get right there. Yeah, especially for up there, the idea that, well, I think a misnomer, the people of Chicago know this, but there's a ton of good courses up in Milwaukee. And
yes.
I'm not just talking about Whistler Straits. I'm not just talking about, I can't always forget the U.S. Open course that's there.
Aaron Hills.
Yeah, so I'm not even talking about those 2 courses, right? There's a ton of really, really good courses that nobody really knows about in that area. So to be able to get that TPC course, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm excited. That I haven't played it before, so this is a great opportunity to get out there and play the same course that these tour players are playing. And the PGA Tour players, the Championship Tour. But it's a great opportunity for us to play that same course Lake Geneva has some great courses down there too. That's on my radar for next year. I know right now I'm trying to just get everything squared away for this year. I'm kind of behind the power curve because I didn't pick up the director position until late January. So I'm trying to get this all put in place so that we have this year. But I am looking forward to some tournaments for next year. Hopefully at some of the Lake Geneva courses, which are premier courses also.
Yeah, and you still have some time, even though it's a little late in the game. You still have some time because it's early February. I mean, by mid-April, you guys should really be able to play, right? I mean, it's other.
Yes, we definitely have a shorter season. Yeah,
right.
Our season doesn't really begin until May. That's when our first tournament.
Yeah, I'm looking at last year's point schedule and just some names that that I love from Milwaukee. You got Mike Colburn, and I'm just going from D Flight on up. Mike Colburn, Mike Miller. I love Mike Miller. Ed, Roger Lefebvre. Roger's probably one of my favorite people. Todd Sertz, love Todd. Rich Stoker now into C Flight. Jay Johnson. I don't know. So Mike Burnt. Do you know Mike?
No, not. We have several Mikes, so I don't know everyone.
Okay, so Mike is retired military, and I know him from, he was a member of our DC tour way back when we first started DC, and then ran into him when we went up. He's like Mike Miller, ran into him when we were up there. Mike Burnt's a great guy. Chris
Nice.
Lutz.
Okay. Yes. Chris
Mike
is a great guy.
Ackberger, Chris Foss. I mean, just you got a bunch of good guys. Matt Lyons. Again, I'm kind of jumping through, but you've got a good core group of guys, so I'm expecting good things out of you.
Well, thank you. I hope to produce. This is a great core group of guys, and I'm hoping to build this tour out so that we have a decent showing for each tournament. I played in Texas, in Dallas, in their tournaments, and it amazed me how many people they have coming out for a tournament. And I'm like, wow, that is, to have two groups, starting on one hole, that just blew me away.
Yeah, and they do that every tournament. That's not a one. That's it's 12 tournaments a year. That's what they're doing.
Yeah. And I'll be happy if I can get to half of that, but that's my goal, is to improve so that we have, we can fill all 18, fill the entire tournament for, with our players, so that we get a good group of guys out and a group of people, because I am looking for women to join the tour. If I can find some women golfers in, the Wisconsin area, I'm hoping to find a couple that will be willing to join us and be very competitive.
Yeah. And that's Chris and I haven't talked about this in a while, but we believe wholeheartedly that we need to be, golf as a whole needs to become more diverse in terms of kids, females, bringing them, because that's what's going to keep the sport alive, right? I mean, if it's a bunch of old guys playing golf, eventually what's going to happen is we're going to run out of old guys playing golf. We need to fill that pipeline with kids and females. Bring them out.
Yes. I have a young guy that I met last year. I told him about the tour, and he called me this year and said, hey, can you tell me more? And so I said, hey, fortunately, I just took over as the director. I can tell you everything that I know, and I talked him into it, and he joined the tour. He's going to be coaching some college guys, so I'm hoping that I can work through him to get at some of these guys on the college circuit and maybe get them to join.
Yeah, especially in the summer, when it's out of their competition. I mean, it's
exactly.
It'd be great. Heck yeah. You tell me somebody who can hook them up with a place to play.
Yes,
that's great.
And the better the courses we play, the more people that want to come out and play. So, I'd like anyone that is interested in joining us for the TPC Wisconsin. Right now I have 32 slots, but I'm sure those will be taken by most of the players in the Milwaukee circuit. But, get your name in there quickly if you want to play.
So here's the one question that I generally ask new tour directors. You've been married for 31 years, so how on board is your wife with this? Because so obviously Jen. You spoke with Jen. She's my wife, and we did it together. There's a lot of husband wives that do this together. Is she gonna be helping you, or are you completely on your own on this one?
I have not done anything in my life without my wife. My wife she's my support. She has been there for me. I could not have served as long as I did in the military without her support. And she's excited about joining the tour. I consulted her first, of course. And so she is the social media person. She wants to, she has all these ideas of, being out there recording video of people, making putts and throwing it out on social media and getting more interest in. So yeah, she's in wholeheartedly. She's got some friends that she wants to join up and not join the tour, but help volunteer for and support. So,
Keith, that not only is that good to hear, I think you bring up something that I talk about a lot, and most people forget. The spouses of veterans, they sacrifice more than people understand. And sometimes they're forgotten about. And so thank you for not forgetting about your wife. You're not going to hell. I forgot my wife's birthday a couple months ago. We've forgotten Mother's Day. So thank you for saying that. Yeah, we want to be better. We try and be better, but it doesn't always work out. We keep working at it.
I'm there with you. I'm not, I won't say that I'm the best husband, in that respect, but, I try to. So,
well, Keith, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your service. I'm really looking forward to seeing how well you do this year. And we will definitely see you here in Hilton Head for sure in October.
Yes. I look forward to it. Thank you, Tim. Thank you for your service. And Chris, thank you for all you do for the tour. I appreciate you guys. Yeah. And thanks for having me on. Will do.
All right, take care. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Let's take a break from the show to hear about Strixon's ZX Mark II irons.
A great iron set needs more than good looks. It's got to be fast and got to be pure. But good looks never hurt either. The all-new ZX Mark II irons from Strixon.
All right, Tim, another new tour director on a tour that's been successful in the past, so I don't see Keith having any issues. And like we talked off air, there's such a core group of guys on there that we're going to help him bring players in and make it as successful as it hasn't before.
Yeah, he's going to do well, and Milwaukee's a different kind of market. And I say that each tour has its own pluses, negatives, uniqueness to it, and Milwaukee is no different. It's a short season, and a lot of times when the middle of September hits, they have transitioned into Packer season.
Right. They can't get away from their Packers.
Yeah. So, but really from I would say really June, July, and August, it's really nice up there. It really is. April, May, I mean, it could be nice. It's just kind of iffy, but there's a ton of courses up there. I like that he got on the TPC course. He's got a decent schedule up there with some good courses. Right now, we've seen a lot of them, and if he can get over to, like you said, to Lake Geneva, man, I'll tell you what, really good courses.
Yeah, I think he'll have a great time. And I mean that you brought up the point of directors being military backgrounds. Uh, you can tell right away when we were talking to him that he's ready to go. He's got a game plan already set, and I don't think he'll steer from that unless drastically needs to.
Yeah, yeah, and again, squared away, knows how to deal with them and the players and the courses and stuff. So I'm looking forward to big things. And like I said, I know a lot of guys up there that are going to obviously be willing to help and come back and play and make it great. So it's going to be good.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure.
So by the time this airs, you will have had your second tournament. But let's talk about what's looking like going into it. What do you got?
I mean, honestly, this season has kicked off to amazing numbers. First tournament, we talked about it, had a great turnout, and then we had issues with rain overnight, and we made it work until the last couple of holes where we just got drenched. You remember when we were out in Michigan and the deflaggers came in all soggy?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was everybody because it was a shotgun start. Oh. And the last 6 holes, I mean, the last hole you could barely see where your ball was going. But finished it off, had a great time. This next one, we were looking. This next one was going to be tricky because it's a smaller course out in Deming, New Mexico. One of these towns that, if you don't have to stop, you won't stop, and you'll miss the whole town. But one of my members really wanted me to have an event at his old course. So I called him up, let's have an event. Yeah, we'd love to have you, this and that. He goes, the only problem is I have enough carts for 56 players. I said, that's fine. 56, I'd be happy to get 50 guys to go out to the course. Next thing you know, I have 56 and 20 on wait list.
What?
So we got real started thinking of ideas, and I said, I know a bunch of my guys have their own carts. If they bring their own carts, will you allow it? He goes, they can bring as many of their carts as they want. We don't mind. So we got enough carts to be able to cover the 77 players we have.
Good for you.
How crazy is that?
That's awesome.
So we have 77 guys going out there. I think I have 12 champ flighters. I don't think I've ever had that many champ flighters at an event.
That's awesome.
12 A flighters. A lot of these champ fighters are college kids that we're talking with one of our guests. That if we can hook them and they can come during their off season,
yeah,
I mean that's just gonna bring up our champ flight very well.
It sure will.
So I'm kind of excited to see how my guys are gonna compete against these college kids. But man, it started off great. After these two, I have 2 other courses that are gonna be really nice. Then I'm gonna take my much needed first half of the year vacations. Go to the floorball, go to Orlando, and then I have our Masters tournament with a cool trophy I can't wait to announce. I'm gonna wait for that one, but I can't.
So you're not gonna? I can give me a secret.
No, not right now. As we get closer.
All right. Well, I'm looking at your roster. Okay, again, it's full of your guys. You got somebody from Nashville, right, and somebody from Arizona. So I'd watch the belt if I were you. Just keep an eye on that belt. But my point here is you're filling the tournament with your guys. I love that.
Yeah, so do I. I'm excited. I think we've built a. When I say we, I mean, not just me and my team, but I think, our returning members, the guys that go to all the events, we've, as a whole, have built such a good foundation, and a good word of mouth going around our cities that now we're starting to see that momentum kick up.
Okay.
And I mean, like we talked about, January was a huge month for us in membership, and I just can't wait to see what the rest of the season holds, and honestly, how I can elevate it for next season. I'm already thinking about how I can do that.
Well, you're doing great. So just keep it up. And obviously we're going to talk before the 4-ball, but again, I'd be, now that I know you're coming out for Orlando too, I'm going to be real upset you come out here twice and you don't see me. You don't come by and get some stews.
Oh man,
or something.
You didn't make me drive 5 hours
See?
for stews.
Whether you go to Myrtle Beach is 5 hours or Orlando is 5. So 5 hours, it's going to be one or the other. I mean,
Myrtle Beach is 5 hours?
about that. Yeah. Because there's no good way to get there. Right.
You have to go
So-
around. Yeah, right. You have to go.
You got and around and over, right? So that's maybe not 5, maybe 4, maybe 4.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Orlando's a lot farther then. If you have to go, you still have to go through Jacksonville.
So I was in Orlando a couple weeks ago, and it was 4.5, 5 hours. Wow. And I wasn't breaking the land speed barrier. You know, I said it'll cruise and go. The real problem is it's traffic on.
Right.
It's not 10. I think it's I-4. When you get off 95 and start going over, I think it's I-4. I know the Florida guys are going to be listening, and they're going to, crush me on that, but whatever it is. But then also 95 is always hit or miss too. If there's an accident on 95, forget it.
Right.
So it is what it is, man. But we're rolling. I would suggest highly. Start registering.
Yes.
Yes. And so I've got the regional page sitting up right now. You've got, so again, it's early February, right?
You say that like it's not going to go by fast.
But that's why I'm looking at the regional schedule. So just from February to March, okay, you've got the 4-ball, you got the Bayou Regional, TPC Louisiana, you got the Virginia Masters Regional, Kingsville. You've got St. Patrick's Day at True Blue, Pawleys Island. You've got the Shoals Regional at RTJ Golf Trail in Muscle Shoals. So that's 1, 2, 3. That's 5 regionals in
2 months.
in 2 months.
Yeah. And that TPC Louisiana one looks like a lot of fun. That's the one that the pros play on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's not a bad one out there, honestly.
No.
So, and if you're someplace where it's cold, like Milwaukee, you don't have to live in Milwaukee.
But
if you do live in Milwaukee, or Minneapolis, or Chicago, or Michigan, or any of these other places where it's too cold for people to actually live, go south, play in some of these other, other events. There's plenty.
I mean, but I just happened to open the Bayou Regional TPC Louisiana. Only 10 spots available left.
That's it.
Virginia Masters, 4 spots available. They've already filled 168 total spots.
That's crazy.
St. Patrick's one at True Blue, 39 spots available. And then the Shoals Regional, they have plenty of spots available. So before you know it, these things are going to sell out and you're not going to have a chance to go out there.
Yeah, and so as you're doing that, I pulled up the local schedule for next weekend, so the 14th and 15th. Now, 14th is Valentine's Day, so we don't want to forget. Happy Valentine's Day.
All the Valentines out there.
And everybody out there, if you're happy Valentine's Day. There's not many tournaments that weekend. Okay, there's 2 on Valentine's Day. Central North Carolina's got a tour, and Columbia, South Carolina's got a tour. Okay, there's 2 on the 15th. One in Charlotte, one in Mississippi, and then North Florida's got one on Monday the 16th. So again, get out if you live near them, or you want to take your Valentine on a weekend vacation and play golf, there's a couple places that you can do that. Just make sure you start registering, man. Get those points.
Yeah. Get those points, and I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of those tours on the East Coast have some very nice prizes for their points champions. So talk to your director, see what they got for you.
Exactly. So, anywho, are you bringing the belt out to Myrtle Beach?
To both, yes.
It's happening.
It's going to be at Universal Studios. If they let me take it in there, it'll be on. There will be pictures.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
If they honestly, if they let me take it in there, I will lug that thing around. No shame.
All day? No shame?
No
Oh,
shame.
all right.
I'll take pictures with all the characters.
Hey, you do you, man. You do what you got to do.
Now that the belt's back, I have to.
You probably should look into getting a duplicate travel belt as a precaution, especially if you're going to Myrtle Beach.
I'm not worried about Myrtle Beach. That thing's gonna be tight to me.
Okay. I've heard stories. I don't know. I've heard stories.
I have to.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Anywho, what else you got for us, bud?
No, man, that's it. Just trying to get that game back. Did a couple things with my clubs to see if it works, but we're just excited to get back into it. We talk about how at the end, with August, September, October, we're all, as directors, kind of drained.
Yeah.
I feel an extra level of excitement each weekend. Like I want it to be Saturday already, and it's Monday of the week, so just having a good time, meeting a bunch of new people. It's been good, man. And being able to meet new people here on the podcast, you can't get anything wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. Yeah, I'm not saying that I miss it, but I am enjoying that we're back in the swing. Swing of it. Well, I'm already talking about maybe me driving up to Myrtle Beach.
You miss it.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
See, we need to get out to some more of them. So we need everybody to send Tim $10.
Yeah, send me $10.
Get yourself a raffle ticket so we can raffle off these irons before you start opening them and start playing with them.
Well, somebody asked me yesterday to come play golf with them, and I said, I wish I couldn't. It's if I had the time, I just may. So we'll see what happens. You never know. All right, my friend. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Don't put too much pressure on yourself. It's only the second tournament of the year, because you really got to perform when you come out to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, I'm gonna start tuning up my game for that, because me and Billy, we have high expectations, and I have a high handicap, so that'll help.
All right.
Well, I just don't want to get in the same flight as Joe Jaspers and all them, because then he might as well just go and play practice rounds.
You got to compete, man. You got to get after it.
I know. I just don't. I know.
I didn't say you had to bet him or gamble.
No, that's not happening. No. Dennis might try to pull some fast one, but I know by the interviews that we've had and the emails we've gotten from him that Joe Jaspers is not one to bet against.
No.
We have another Andrew Weathers.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's from, but he's a +4.
Ooh. Yeah, I see that. Yeah. You could take
So let's keep all those guys up there together with them.
Well, Jasper's is a plus 1.7, so
Right. I just wish I could see who this guy's partner is.
could be Stephen Lauder.
Where's he?
Oh, Lauder.
I'm blind. Hold on.
Oh,
I have my
goodness.
glasses on too.
Well, they can't. These handicaps can't all be right.
A 40?
Stop laughing. That's not very nice.
No, I'm laughing because you put a 40 with a +4.
Well, what I'm saying is they can't all be right. And I say that because look at William Cunningham.
Yeah. I don't think they're right. That might have been an 8.31.
Yeah.
They're gonna verify it somehow. That is a job not for me.
Yeah.
Because if the only time I'm working, it will be after the rounds.
We'll talk about it. All right, man. It's good seeing you. Best to the family, and
Same.
good luck this weekend. We'll talk soon.
Are you out of the doghouse, by the way?
Never. Because here, you know this, man.
I was hoping for the best.
I always find a way. Just when I'm ready to get out, I do or say something stupid. You know.
I tried.
She may say, "Go to Myrtle Beach." Just go.
You know what? I like it. Jen, I know you're listening because you listen to all of them. Just send them. Just send them.
We'll see. All right, but we'll talk soon.
Yes, sir.
Take care.